Hi, everyone. My name is Ademo Shoya Awoshika Olumo, and I'm a senior software engineer and a personal brand coach. And I'm really excited to give this talk today called How to Build Your Brand as a Software Developer. All right, so how this presentation is going to work, I'm going to start talking a little bit about myself and how I built my brand as a software engineer. Then I'm going to dive into the importance of building a brand. And then I'm going to give you guys all a step-by-step guide on how to build your brand as a software engineer. So taking it back, how I got to graduating from college to being a senior software engineer. I graduated with a degree in computer engineering from the University of Pittsburgh, which actually led me to land my first job in New York City as a software engineer. It was a pretty interesting experience. Like, I felt that while my undergraduate education definitely prepared me to land a job as a software engineer, I felt that there was still so much that I didn't know about how to just navigate the tech industry in general. And I felt very isolated and just very lost in terms of what I should do. And it was really difficult for me, especially not really seeing anyone who really looked like me, and just the feeling of being alone when I knew that to kind of grow your career, it's a group effort and it requires you to kind of connect and network with other people. So then I started to share my story. So I began blogging in February of 2017 with 3 other women, and we just started talking about our life and our career as women of color in STEM in hopes of showing the multifacetedness of women in STEM and how you can pursue anything that you want. You can do all of the things that you love to do and still have a very successful career as a woman in STEM. And that led me to actually starting my own blog personally, where I kind of share things relating to tech specifically, as well as like traveling or things going on in my personal life, and things about productivity, as well as like business and branding tips. And I kind of mirror that to my Instagram page, where I also share a lot of tips surrounding building your career as a software engineer, as well as other technical tips and productivity hacks and stuff like that. And doing those things, it kind of helped me build a sense of community. It helped me feel that I felt like I had a place where I could belong. I felt like I had a place where I felt seen and where people were constantly cheering on me and constantly rooting for me, and also really cared about what I had to say and really enjoyed the things that I was talking about. And through these things, I was able to land my second job after college. So I joined an organization called DevColor. And through that organization, I was able to connect with people and build out that network that way. And one of the people that I met actually referred me. And that's what led to me working my next job, which is at MailChimp, which is an email marketing company. I got to be able to collaborate on global projects ranging across different industries. So people got to kind of recognize what I was doing and wanting to work with me because of the energy that I put out there and because of the content that I did. And they were just ranging across a whole bunch of things. So I got to work on a global fashion project. I got to work on a healthcare, hair care, beauty app. And it was just really cool to just build those connections and really start to explore more beyond what I thought. I've also been able to build a strong network beyond my current company. So building a network of people outside of the company is important, just in the event to like know what's going on across different companies, as well as if I am looking for new opportunities, being able to kind of rely on my network to kind of see like, where should I work? Where do I want to work? As well as multiple speaking engagements centering around topics relating to working in tech, while also talking about the creative things that I like to do. I mentioned how I like to blog and things like that. So really just getting to showcase all of me everywhere that I go and just really representing the holistic person that I am. So it's getting to show that not only that I am a technical individual, but I'm also someone who has a creative side, who really cares about a lot of things surrounding society, societal issues and technology, as well as like how to be more productive. And it just really allowed me to just feel a sense of community surrounding me. And one of the biggest realizations that I've had about working in the tech industry is that you kind of have to have some clout. And I don't mean clout in a negative connotation sense. I really mean it in the sense that the higher and higher you go in your career, it's less about the code PRs that you put out or the work that you do. And it's really about your industry impact. It's really about what people are seeing that you're doing and what people can gravitate towards and recognize, and the work that you're putting out to the broader industry and the tech ecosystem as a whole. So by building your brand as a software engineer, you actually get to open yourself up to many more opportunities that you wouldn't have thought of. I would have never imagined when I was graduating from college that I would actually end up working for an email marketing company, working in New York City. And those things happen through the connections and through the network that I had been able to build and the trust that I have in the people that I've gotten to connect with. You get to connect with amazing, intelligent, and inspiring people. I think one of my favorite things about being a software engineer is just the people that I get to meet and connect with. And I just find everyone to just be so intelligent and so inspiring just of what they've been able to do and what they've been able to accomplish. And especially when no two tech careers are similar, and you just really get to know where people got to where they are and how they were able to be in the position that they are. And you wouldn't really get that unless you're putting yourself out there to be able to connect and really receive that sort of energy and really know what people are up to. And you're really able to advance your career. So by being able to showcase all of your technical insights, being able to showcase who you are as an individual, you will stumble upon those opportunities that people are asking you for. It's happened to me where people are connecting with me and they're saying, oh, I just saw this blog that you did and I saw that you were featured here and you were interviewing there. And I just really wanted to get to know you and start to talk to you more. And even if you aren't looking for anything right now, I would just love to continue connecting and continue building that relationship. And those are those opportunities where you may not be knowing what you want to do next, and you can at least pull on different people to be able to help you figure out what it is that you should do next. So we talked a little bit about how I was able to build my brand, what I've been doing to build my brand. And now I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about how you can build your brand and how to go about the process of building your brand specifically as a software developer. So the first thing you need to do is you need to establish your brand identity. And I think that this is very important because you have to know who you are before you're trying to put things out, because you don't want a situation where things just don't feel aligned with you anymore, because then you're going to have an identity crisis, and that's not really going to be a good situation for you. And it's oftentimes going to lead to burnout a lot when you're constantly feeling like you're climbing the hamster wheel and you're feeling that things just aren't really matching. And I just feel, in my experience, I've just seen a lot of times where you're putting something out and things just really aren't matching up, and it just leads to a lot of discouragement. And so the key thing really is to establish who you are, understand who you are and what you want to represent. And there are a couple of questions that I like to ask myself when trying to establish my brand as a software engineer. And the first question is, what am I motivated by in my career? So there's this article that I read that was talking about how there's 4 things that people are really motivated by. Are you motivated by the skills that you get to acquire? Are you motivated by the authority that you get to have? Are you motivated by being able to dive deep into something very specific? And knowing those things will help you kind of really start to figure out, okay, based on that, like, this is where I need to go, or this is the direction that you need to do. So if you're someone who's motivated by having a place of authority, maybe like looking for opportunities to really talk about leadership and really talk about what leadership means to you in the context of being a software engineer. If you're someone that is motivated by acquiring new skills, then being able to talk about the different projects that you've got to work on and understanding the different trade-offs because of the things that you've gotten to do is going to be really important to really help you not only figure out how to advance your career or what you want to do next in your career, but figure out how you want to start to tell your story and how you want to build the brand around you. The next question is, how do you want to work and collaborate with people, other people? So are you someone that likes to just sit in a corner all the time and kind of like do what you need to do and then present it later? Do you want it to be something that's like an iterative, collaborative effort? Being able to kind of showcase like the opportunities that you've had to really demonstrate how you collaborate with other people, how you're able to connect and engage, and the kind of projects that you've gotten to work on that aren't really yourself, like that aren't just by yourself, is really going to kind of continue to build your career further and further. Because one thing that I've learned is that being the subject matter expert is really cool, but it's better for you to be able to have the opportunity to give back to more junior developers, to be able for them to kind of get their learnings going and to be able to continue to like talk with them and work with them and build them up. And that in a sense builds you up as well as you start to kind of build on your skill set and kind of being able to see things from different lenses. And what do you want to be known for in the industry? So I think if we look at the industry, you have people that are very known for the frameworks that they create or the languages that they create. You have people who are known for their thought leadership or the kind of talks that they've been able to give. And you have people who are known for just being pioneers in a particular space. And it's how you want to be seen or what you want to be known for. That's really going to help you feel like what are the steps that you need to take in order to really start to build up your brand and really start to make a name for yourself within the tech industry. And the second part is build connection. So this was the one thing that was like very confusing for me at first. And especially for someone like me who's really introverted, it can be very daunting to feel like you need to connect with all of these people. But I always say that you need to kind of just focus on quality and not quantity. If you could go to any networking event and at least talk to 1 to 2 people and really get to know them and really get to build those connections, then I think that is a very successful networking event for me. And for my example, one of my best friends to this day, I actually met at a developer conference, and we were just able to talk and just share what's going on, and we just connected instantly and so quickly. And I think establishing and making a premise of building out meaningful connections with other people is really what's going to kind of help drive you and kind of really fuel you, especially when you get into those instances that you're stuck. And I have a 4C framework that I like to use when it comes to establishing and building connections. And the first thing you need to do is contribute. So putting things out there, sharing your story, sharing your insights within the industry, coming at it from your lens. So even if you feel that people are kind of saying the same thing over and over again, they're not saying it the way that you're saying it. And it's important that you're sort of sharing what you have to offer and knowing that what you're putting out there is valuable, even if you feel like other people are saying it. Converse. So participate in discussions and create dialogue. So it's not just about posting things or sharing things and then not going away and pretending like you didn't do that. You really have to participate in different discussions, either on your work that you've done or other people's work, and continue to kind of engage and talk to different people. Collaborate. So it's important that you find opportunities to work and connect with other people. And that could be like being able to speak at conferences, or being able to be on someone's podcast, or being able to start a YouTube channel or something like that. Just being able to find opportunities where you're able to kind of fuse your audience with someone else's audience and make a bigger audience pool that allows you to kind of get your name out there and start to get people to know who you are. And circulate, continue sharing your work and other people's work. So it's important to make sure that the work that you are sharing is not just all of your stuff, it's not just everything that you're doing, that you're continuing to amplify your peers and your mentors or your mentees' work that they're doing, and really just celebrating them and celebrating their progress. And step 3, you have to be consistent. Consistency is always key. Consistency is really going to be how you build momentum. It's really going to be how you encourage other people. It's how people are going to recognize you and know what you do because of the fact that they see you all the time and they see who you are and they know what you're doing. And that's really going to be how your names will get spoken in rooms that you're not even a part of, or you're not even thinking about being in rooms. And by being consistent, that has led to people wanting to say like, hey, like I mentioned you and doing this, someone should be reaching out to you soon, or hey, like I think this might be a good fit for you. And that's a great feeling when people start to really know exactly what it is, exactly what you're doing, and kind of wanting to associate you with that, and that being in the fresh of their minds. And how I like to stay consistent is creating a schedule for yourself to build and establish connections. So not everyone needs to be there every single day. You don't need to be here every single minute. We all have lives. We all have other things that we have to be doing, but establishing a schedule, maybe it's just one day a week you go on, you share a post, you comment on a couple things, and then you go away and then that's it. Automating things, that anything that seems to be mundane. So being able to schedule my like content on a different platform so that I don't even have to think about when it's going to get posted. I just know that it's going to happen, and that's really it. And have fun. I think the greatest thing, software engineering can be so much fun. It can be a really enjoyable experience, even though it is difficult. And it's important to kind of allow yourself to laugh and allow yourself to showcase your personality. And because that's really what's going to be the thing that connects you to other people. And that's going to be what really helps you kind of establish more of a presence of who you are. And the number one thing to remember, the number one thing that I have to say you have to remember, it's a marathon and not a sprint, okay? So yes, like you may want to have this like, oh, like let me do this quickly, or I need to do this quickly, or you may get discouraged with the fact that you're not seeing the recognition that you feel like you deserve. And I'm here to tell you that you have to give yourself the time, give yourself the grace, allow yourself to kind of work things slowly, because the reality is like as you go over time, like things are going to shift, things are going to change. You may not want to do something that you thought you were doing before, or you may want to pivot into something else that you weren't doing before. And giving yourself the time to kind of grow and really start to know and really understand like who you are and what you're wanting to do and what your goals are really will allow you to maintain your authenticity, as also maintaining your integrity when you start to work and connect with other people. So I wanted to give a quick recap, if you don't, for some key takeaways for the end of this presentation. One thing is building your personal brand is important to growing your career as a software engineer. I can't stress this enough. I think that especially from what I've seen, like being able to make a name for yourself and to have people know you for a certain thing is very key in terms of building those connections and really expanding and growing your network. The key 3 steps in order to do that is to establish your identity, build connections, and be consistent. So we talked a little bit about identifying your brand, identifying what motivates you, identifying what is really your why for why you do the things that you do, and then continuing to be connections through like sharing different content and engaging in different discussions and having a different dialogue with people. And then also be consistent. Don't rush the process. Allow yourself to automate the things that you don't feel like doing, being sure that if there's something that's not your strength, maybe try like asking a friend to help you clean something up, using different tools to kind of help you like clean up some grammar or spelling or anything. And lastly, don't rush the process. Everyone's journey is different. Own your journey, be comfortable in your journey, allow people to really get to know who you are and just how you're evolving, and let people see the process of how you're going to continue to grow and how you're going to continue to evolve. And lastly, if you are going through this presentation and you're like, oh, like I think that I have a pretty strong brand, or I'm not really sure how strong my personal brand is. I have a quiz that I would like all of you to take. So if you go to www.ademushoyo.com/quiz, you'll get to take this quiz. It'll send you your score as well as resources so that you can kind of know where you're at in your personal brand strength and what you need to do to kind of continue to get to the next level or continue to work on in order at the level that you're at. So I look forward to getting your scores and kind of being able to help you in a sense with your own personal brand journey. And I just want to thank you all so much for taking the time to listen to me and engaging with me. Hopefully I'll get to connect with you all in some capacity on the internet. So be sure to connect with me either on Twitter or Instagram at Ademushoyo. And I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you so much.